Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports once again. We have Ross back in the room, Coach Chris, sports and conditioning trainer, strength and conditioning trainer, sports and conditioning, strength and conditioning trainer, Coach Chris from Maryland in America. Coach, how are we doing?
Man, we are doing amazing. Just hanging out here, man. Hanging out,
Fantastic, fantastic. So, wanted to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I did the Wilder video, the post-fight or post-press conference interview I did. And then I did the obviously subsequently Wilder versus the media talk. Your thoughts on that?
Man, I think you hit the nail on the head with everything, man. I just, just looking at the situation, I can't imagine the lack of respect he has for Fury as a professional. You know what I'm saying? Like to sit there and, because Fury comes out and he's out of his mind and he's a drug abuser, so you can't take what he says worth too much, And I mean, for him to come out there with his shirt off and, hat backwards and just like it's some kind of joke when you're out there punching people with, skin gloves. I'm sure he really didn't want to say. I mean, I don't think that was Wilder. I think that might have been the bomber right there on stage with him, man. And he don't want to mess the money up, so he's just trying to keep cool. And besides, one thing about the media is why should he talk to the media, and why is he going to waste his time speaking to the media when the media had a whole year to speak about the cheating allegations and the arbitration? They choose not to say anything at all. I mean, everybody knew that there was an arbitration. I'll excuse some of the people that are, that view your channel, because they might not be from America, so they might not really know. But just knowing how things work around this part of the world, you're not going to fight. You're not going to get out of a rematch clause without at least there being a lawsuit, an injunction. And for the media to just ignore that, and then to push the whole narrative that it's weird. Like the American media actually is not on the American boxer's side, which again would make you think and question why is that the case, but it is the case, and I think he handled it beautifully. I was very, very impressed with him to see him not speak, and he took his time. He spoke to some people. I think he did a quick interview with Sky, and he did something with Ellie Setback. And he did something with Fred from Barbershop Conversations, where you can see clearly in the, Egos video that he has a dent in the side of his face from being punched with regulation 10-ounce gloves, so to speak. So, all these media guys that were mad at him for not speaking, your Coppingers, your Iolis, your, Radio Raheem and all those other guys that just sat there and, that's the thing about it, right? Like Fury's a known liar and a known cheat and a known drug abuser, but somehow Wilder's the guy we don't trust, the guy that's never lied, the guy that's never been caught cheating. Somehow he's the liar.
You know what? Something just dawned on me when you're talking. I don't know why it fell into my head, but do you know when Fury first confronted Wilder in the ring? That Showtime that hit loads of millions of views. And was interesting, to say the least. Before Fury got in the ring, he had to take a drink before he got in the ring to face Wilder.
He was wasted. He was drinking that. Yeah. They had the video. He was drinking that whole time. He was drinking just shots and shots and drinking.
Because he was told that he was in America to face Wilder, to build that whole Wilder fight up.
Yeah, he's scared. He's scared. I mean, I just can't for someone to go into a fight and skin their gloves like that. He must have been absolutely petrified. And everyone can say, "Oh, he won the press conference." I didn't know that we kept score at press conferences, but whatever. But anyone that's ever been in an actual fight, like I'm not talking about boxing, I'm talking about you've been in a fight or you've been in a bar and you've seen a fight happen, there's an energy that kind of comes out that you can kind of see, and I've done a lot of security in my day. Did a lot of bouncing, and yeah, that look Wilder had on his face was that's the look like where you're as a security guard, you're thinking, all right, let me get over there and get in between these guys and break this up because someone's gonna punch someone in the face. Like that wasn't a I'm scared to no, that was I have like see because most of these press conferences and
It's all
these face-offs,
staged.
it's all staged. It's
Those
all
guys,
they're
they're staged. But this guy here, but this
yeah.
was staged.
Like remember the whole Lennox Lewis Mike Tyson shenanigans where they had security between them and all that. All of that was to sell the fight. And then the moment the fight ends, Tyson's wiping blood off of Lennox Lewis and I've known him since he was 14 and I was 16 and blah 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 blah. Now these guys, and I don't know how much of it's on Fury's side, but on the Wilder side, I can tell you there is extreme extreme hate. There is a lack of disrespect. There is a lack of respect, and there is a want and desire to see him brutally, brutally hurt. And I mean, it's not just about the boxing match. This is about
taking a life.
This is about an eye for an eye, a life for a life. And Fury.
Do you know the only other fight this compares to in terms of eye for an eye almost is when Michael Watson fought Chris Eubank Sr., the second fight, where Michael Watson said, first, my job is to remove Chris Eubank out of boxing. My second job is to win the world title. And people didn't catch that. My first job is to remove Chris Eubank from boxing. My second job is to win the world title. So he basically said he has to, but Eubank must never ever be to box again. So he was trying to do something very nasty. And people didn't know that the story was that Michael Watson took blood out of his body and then got the blood frozen and then put that blood back into his body to give him more oxygen. Hence why his body was doing more than his body was usually capable of doing in that fight against Eubank. And he was where's Chris gone? He's gone. We wait until Chris comes back. So basically, Watson took it was rumored to take blood out of his body, put blood back into his body, and so he had extra stamina, more oxygen. So there we go. Coach Chris is back.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
That's a cool. So blood was put back into Watson's body, so Watson had more energy or more oxygen to box for longer against Eubank. So for every round, he was throwing punches and punches and punches and punches. So yeah, he was looking to get rid of Eubank in there. He really was. He was outboxing Eubank. He was just like a monster going forward. He wouldn't stop throwing punches, and Eubank hit him with everything. And then in that 11th round, he dropped Eubank. Eubank got off the deck and hit Watson, walk onto an uppercut, and that was the beginning end of Michael Watson. But that sort of intensity, that sort of bad-mindedness is in Wilder, and it's the sort of thing when your eyes go blank. There's this darkness that goes over you, and you no longer think about anything else, your life, your kids, your relationship, none of that stuff, your nationality. It's just you and that person, and you just want to do what you can to remove that person from this planet. That is that's almost murder. That's murder there.
I don't know if I've ever disliked anybody or had a reason to dislike anybody like Wilder does now.
To that point.
To this point. I mean, to think about the fact that this man, you put cash in his pocket, made him a man again. You made him, they promoted him for that first fight and made him something he wasn't, which was relevant. You know what I'm saying? And now that we look at this boxing and we look at the fight and we look at the fact that he was cheating and we look at the gloves, now I'm just kind of questioning, how much of a boxing fan do I really want to be if this is going to be something that's ignored? And two, I don't think Fury's very good. I mean, he obviously isn't a prime-time athlete. He doesn't keep himself in any semblance of shape. So whatever whatever he does to get himself ready for the fight, it's obvious that it's something that he's able to do within a month to 6 weeks, which screams performance enhancing drugs to anybody, because you saw him at the press conference with his shirt off. He looked like a gummy bear. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, he thinks this is some kind of game. He thinks he can. I don't know what he's going to do, because you know, I think they might have to glove up in the ring. This is going to be. I mean, you're talking about all eyes on him, and he won't be able to cheat. So he's going to obviously have to get back to his original. Because I mean, I just need people to stop it. You know, he's not an any punch knockout artist. He's not. The fight before he fought Wilder, he couldn't keep Otto Wallen off of him. But I just, you know, the media, they're going to have a problem, because Wilder's not going to speak to any of those guys after he wins back his belt. And I can probably guarantee that there will be some sort of civil suit versus Fury and the SAC, and rightfully so, because they obviously owe him damages. Because I mean, you can just look at his face; they obviously owe him damages. There is no way that happened with sanctioned boxing gloves. Well, anybody that could say that anybody that says that that was caused by regulation boxing gloves, I don't know, idiot. I can't. I mean, you couldn't do that. You can't do that with UFC gloves. Obviously, something was in the glove. Obviously, something was in there. I mean, it's just
Mike Tyson couldn't do that. George Foreman never did that. Ernie Shavers never did that. And Fury's not the class of any of those punches.
I mean, Ingram, it's physically impossible. That bone right there, that's your temple's next to that bone. The temple, that's like the most vulnerable part in your body. So that bone that bone is dense. You know, that bone is denser than like your thigh muscle. You know, you're more likely to break your femur in your thigh than to break that bone. You know, and I know we were talking about, you know, in that video you did earlier, you were talking about why there's so many facial injuries in boxing. You know, a lot of those facial injuries, I believe, are because of performance enhancing drug use, because steroids makes you a bit brittle. You know, you see different bones breaking, and, you know, an orbital bone breaking from somebody that obviously should have calloused skin around that area has been hit so many times with sparring. It's just sad. It's sad to see that that's what boxing is, and that the media and ESPN, they can actually just decide not to talk about the truth and not talk about what actually happened. Just kind of let you know where we're at, you know, both, you know, as far as, you know, culturally and in the sport of boxing, because, you know, we're seeing that these boxing journalists are really a pack of user scumbags, you know, that are like mouthpieces.
I said that.
You know,
I've said that. Mouthpieces for promoters. I've said it.
I mean, that's not sure. I mean, either that or they got some kind of bone to pick with him personally. But then it comes up, well, what kind of bone do you have to pick with him personally? Like, Fury's not even from America, and Wilder is. And Wilder fought for the United States in the Olympics. So what problem could you possibly have?
That doesn't really mean anything, because Pacquiao was supported more than Mayweather, and Mayweather was the American fighter.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do Mayweather and Wilder have in common? You know, there's literally only one thing that Mayweather and Wilder have in common. So we all know what that is. You know, they're neither of them they're not similar in boxing. They're not similar in how they box. They're not similar in size and stature. They're not similar in their experience or how they carry it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have any reason. I mean, I could see somebody kind of hating on Floyd Mayweather just because he's so flashy, throws the money around and the cars and the strippers, and, you know, he's actually done some things where it's like, wow, man, he's really kind of dislikable. But Wilder's really, you know, when he's not fighting, he's kind of at the house. You know, he's laying low. So it's just ridiculous. Tyson Fury hater? Am I a Fury hater? Yeah, I am. I am a Tyson Fury hater. I have zero respect for him as a boxer, as a competitor. I thought he was a grown man and a cheater. But I'll tell you right now, you I think I can whip him. I think he's soft. I don't think he's on the level of any of these guys. I think he's a joke. My man Watcher, what's up, baby?
The thing is, the thing about this is, and it's people who have a selective memory. We have enough evidence in the case of Tyson Fury now to think, well, okay, this guy got banned for boxing for 2 years, or he's suspended for boxing for 2 years. This guy got pulled up in the Christian Hammer fight about his glove. This guy blatantly in front of us illegally fouled Steve Cunningham, but nobody spoke anything about that. So that's three situations already. That's 3 situations already. I assure you, if the same thing, if Deontay Wilder was banned from boxing, you never heard people stop talking about it. You never heard people stop talking about, oh yeah, he was a PED user. Oh yeah, he was a PED user. Oh yeah, Drew Miller. They talk about Drew Miller. He's a PED user. He's a PED user. He should be banned from boxing. So you don't see Drew Miller boxing. But Povetkin, who got caught banged to right 3 times using PEDs, he was on pay-per-views up to last year. Can you explain that to me? That's just the discrepancies we have in boxing.
I really just I can't even. It's just ridiculous. If Deontay Wilder had done what Tyson Fury is being accused of, first of all, it'd be covered a whole lot differently. Second of all, Wilder would be banned from boxing. He would be in jail. I mean, look what happened with Panama Lewis and Billy Collins. Like Panama Lewis and Lewis Resto got banned from boxing.
But they also never talk about. I mentioned the Angela Dundee fight when Angela Dundee, Muhammad Ali got knocked down by Henry Cooper, and I think it was around the 6th round, he got dropped by a left hook. He was messing around, got caught with a left hook, dunked on his pants, and was out on his feet. And Dundee had to slip the glove off of Muhammad Ali. People talk like these things don't happen. He slipped the glove so that Ali could get time to recuperate, and then came out next round and whooped Cooper. These things happen in boxing. People think that these things don't happen in boxing. Margarito, and the hands and the plaster of Paris. We'll talk about that. We've got the situation where those same gloves, the same make of gloves, puffing, whatever the hell they are, were caught on another fighter. With no padding in them.
It's funny that everybody now wants to check gloves. It's funny now that O'Shaquie Foster fought and his trainer caught Danielle Roman with the gloves that came out the bag, out the box, out the bag, skinned. Povetkin was fighting Dillian White before that fight in Eddie Hearn's backyard, and they're putting the gloves on and trying the gloves like, oh, it's okay, we're just checking out the gloves. Because people know what they saw in that fight, and they know that something was very wrong with that fight. Boxing's disgusting. I reached out to a woman who does work with on racism in sports, and she didn't even want to touch it and talk about boxing because she's like, boxing is so corrupt and disgusting that it's almost like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's talking about like NFL and NBA stuff here in America, but I mean, like, boxing is more like a WWF event than a sporting event in any way. There's zero regulation in boxing. First of all, why are there 5,000 different types of gloves people could wear? That just leaves room for manipulation. It should, like, look, just like, hey, what's the ball everyone uses in UEFA? What's the basketball everyone uses in the NBA? What's the football? Like, it's the same football in the NFL. It's the same soccer ball in Europe. Why aren't they just Everlast and maybe change it up and maybe you could have rival? But why are there 85,000 different types of gloves? It just makes way for cheating, and it's a joke. It's a joke, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the hatred and racism and the lack of respect that Wilder's gotten from the media really just kind of lets you know. Just let you know what time it is and how these people actually feel about you. And so if they feel that way about you, why speak?
How about how I look at it this way, maybe we're just seeing how racist boxing really is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's racist, all right. I mean, it's been racist and tribal this entire time, but I mean, for them to actually ignore
Look at the majority. Look at
or
the majority of the writers. The majority of the writers, the mainstream main writers in boxing.
yeah, they're white.
I'm not. I'm just calling it for what it is.
Yeah, and it's funny how that works, right? So like, you know, the majority of the athletes are one color, but the majority of the people covering it are another. You know, that it just speaks to just kind of let you know what time it is, man. Like it really
It
does.
shows you. It shows you, and how at what length they will go to discredit a man. And even when a man has proven himself to not be lying about his contract, there's been zero apologies. That just shows you the state or the type of arrogance, ignorance that these people are like. And I've got no respect for any of them.
Yeah, it's a bad situation, man. It's just not. It's just really it's really bad.
And you know what? It goes back to, you know what this is reminding me of? Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney.
Yeah, that was bad.
Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney.
That was
And
bad.
I remember hearing that, like, you know, the black man versus white man. Even Cooney didn't want to be a part of that. I don't think he did. I think he just wanted to try and become world champion. I don't think he actually was a racist, Jerry Cooney, because years later, you see Jerry Cooney and Larry Holmes always hugging and really close like that. But I think he said himself, Cooney admitted afterwards, that it was a media thing to sell more tickets. Even, not Marvin Hagler, what's his name? Alan Minter admitted, the former undisputed middleweight champion, or he admitted when he said, I'll never let a white man, I'll never let a black man lace my boots. He himself it wasn't Minter that thought that, but he was ill-advised by somebody in his PR team. Years later, Minter came out and said, you know what, that wasn't me who put that out there. And ever since, I've been, you know, people have called me a racist because of that, and I've never lived it down. And on top of that, I spoke to Stacey McKinley, and Stacey McKinley said, oh, you're Alan Minter. That guy's not a racist. That guy's one of the coolest dudes on the planet. That story came out because they were trying to sell tickets. That's what that was about. So it's not just the media and the guys that are writing. It's the people that push them behind the scenes to move a certain way, you know?
Yeah, and they're racist too. You know what I'm saying?
And at the very top of boxing, I heard I'm not going to say who it was because that would be really giving the game away. But I've heard conversations by executives. Again, I'm not going to mention where that's from, but it's in America, where the executives were saying, "We don't like black fighters. We have to put up with them. We don't like black fighters," and that's at the very top executives. And one of the how I found that out, because of one of the trainers was in the room. He was listening to it. He was mortified, and a whole fight broke out inside those four walls. There was a fight that broke out, and the fighter said, "You may have those belief systems, but I don't have those belief systems. You may think I'm part of you, but I'm not." So it happens in boxing, and you'd be surprised how racist it is.
That's how it be. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be so funny. It's just like I know a lot of Caucasians deal with that because you know, I got buddies that are, you know, Caucasian, obviously, and they'll be talking to another white person, and the white person will just talk to them, and then like racist stuff will just spew from their lips, and they'll just assume that they're good with it, and like not know that this guy is like married to a black woman or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm from the DMV. It's a pretty diverse area. You know, there's a lot of interracial relationships here in the area. You know, either way, you know, between, you know, all races. You know, and it's just it's like, you know, me, like I'm big and swole, and I used to look really big and swole when I was younger. And guys would just assume that I was on steroids. They would talk about what they were taking, and hey, I do this, and what do you try? And I'm like, I don't try any of that, bro, because I don't take steroids. And they'd be like, well, what are you talking about? I'd be like, yeah, I don't. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's always assuming that other people think like them and are doing the same cruddy things that they're doing, and they're wrong. I just am like, for these media types to just really ignore like to ignore what's staring you right in the face, to just cover your eyes and just not even talk about it.
Listen,
It's just
look, that's why I stopped. That's why I stopped doing these press conferences in the UK, because they're damn racist. Damn racist.
Yeah.
See the way they look at you, the way they act, the way they behave. You see them. I'm not mentioning what organisation it is, but they're a pack of racists. Pack of racists.
Oh yeah,
you understand? And
I have an idea what organization you're talking about, because I've heard the same thing about them too, with their NBF, no black fighters rule. I've heard of that. It's just a shame, but it's sports, man. It's we got to just you got to just be honest about it. Like there's people out there, and they're usually the same persuasion. Actually, they're always the same persuasion, and they're just really racist. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's in every sport. That's in football. That's in the NBA.
But it's worse in boxing. It's worse in boxing because there's no overall governing body governing the whole situation. It's just everybody doing their own damn thing.
Yeah, it's not what obviously was going to end up happening, and it could have happened last February. Is someone's going to get killed in the ring, but they won't really care unless it's a white guy. But there's but the chances of that are very slim because there's not that many white boxers. Most boxers are men of color. So, I mean, as long as it's a black person that's getting beat up on and abused, there's really not a whole lot of care and concern. I also remember when that girl fought Franchon Cruz Dezern, who's from this area, and came to the ring looking like freaking Manny Pacquiao or something, and fought the girl that was on every type of steroid known to man. That came to the ring looking like a boy, nobody cared about her. It took her months to get her titles back after this person failed drug tests. So just the racism in the sport and the hatred, it's unpalatable. It really is. And for these media types, just shame on them. They should be ashamed themselves. And that's all I got with that, man. It's just crazy. But I think Fury knows he's in a lot of trouble. He looked extremely nervous to me at that press conference, and he's going to get beat, man. So let's see here what's going on with this chat. See my man Leaf. Right here, big names, speaking about glove play and Candyman. Man. Well, Leaf, man, I'll tell you why I think it is. I think, man, that people are just hesitant to speak on things because they know that the powers that be are behind it, and they want to be able to get a fight down the road. That's why a lot of people don't say a lot of things. Look at Colin Kaepernick in the NFL. I'm sure a lot of NFL players felt differently, but really no one's in a position to say anything because they all want to work and they all want to get paid. Emmanuel Stewart and Nassim Richardson. I mean, I'd like to think that Emmanuel Stewart would say something, God rest his soul. But, his nephew is the one that helped Fury cheat. So who knows about that? I'm not speaking ill of the dead. It's just a fact. And Nassim Richardson, he definitely would have something to say, I believe. But, I'm telling you, like boxing types, there's an issue with Deontay Wilder. I don't know if it's because he didn't do all the amateur stuff and everything that everyone else did. But the boxing establishment doesn't see him as one of their own, and they have a problem with him and how he rolls. So, I mean, I wouldn't speak I wouldn't speak ever again if I was him. I mean, like, why? For what? All they do is just do what they say. I mean, Michael Coppinger played a sentence from a 10-minute interview. Like, how is that even, like, that's ethical? Like, what school did you go to? I thought, these old media types were supposed to be journalists and went to journalism school.
Yeah, but Michael Coppinger, I've got very little respect for anyway. So I don't have a lot of respect for him at all. These people get hailed. These people get hailed because they're in a position. It's like all they've got is they're in a position to report. That's all. The door is open to them. They don't have to ask for media passes. They get a free pass to what they need to get to because the right connections, the right complexion, as Muhammad Ali said. So that's what it is. So they're not doing anything sensational. But when of us dudes do it, when a person of color does it, trust me, they've had to walk on fire and walk on water to get an interview. I'm telling you, it's different.
It's absolutely
It's different. These guys have got these guys get open door policy. They don't have to apply for press passes. They just get to go walk everywhere they walk, do what they want to do, say what they want to say. That's why they can carry on the way that they do.
Boxing media is dying, brother. They're dying because YouTube's tearing the fur off of them. Like you can get better coverage, more in-depth analysis, more experienced actual analysis on the sport of boxing from YouTube than from ESPN, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report, any of those people. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why that is because they've got the same old people, the same old mindsets that are stuck.
I just think I don't think they're talented. Like they don't know the sport. Like they know how to go and schmooze and kiss ass and go eat and spend a buffet ticket, but they don't know boxing like you do. They don't know boxing like Stormy B. Man, or they don't know boxing like Kurt Anderson. Like they don't know how to do. They don't know. They simply don't know. They just simply have the connection to be there. But like guys like Chris Mannix and Kevin Iole and Mike Coppinger, they don't know the sport. They just know that they have a hookup and can be there.
They've got connections. They've got connections, and they know copy and paste. That's it as well.
I tell you what,
they also know how to ignore people who talk the truth.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the time is running out because eventually, all these media platforms like Chris Mannix with the Zone isn't gonna make it. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna last. Top Rank, you know, they had a good card finally last night for the first time in what seems like 5 years. They finally had a good card top to bottom, and I guess top to bottom is relative for them. I guess I don't know. The Monster Inoue fight was interesting, but you know, it's all good. You know, if you like the 112 pounders or whatever they are, but yeah, man, I just it's just a shame they're not going to make it. You know, and the thing about YouTube is what's genuine and real is always going to last. You can't hide what's in the truth. But you know, when you're a liar and when you're fake and you're phony and you're living a facade, you're always on the lookout. And you always despise what's really real. You know what I mean? But you have to maintain that facade, and that takes a lot of work. And you actually take more work maintaining the facade than actually being good at your job. And they're not going to be around very long. You know, Mike Coppinger, he does a lot of talking. My man's got 4,000 Instagram followers. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's reading your work, bro. You know what I mean? Like, there are BBW chicks that are like 19 that have more followers than you, bro. Like, you're like, come on, like, stop it. Like, nobody cares. Kevin Iole, like, again, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. And the thing about it is, Wilder's going to win this belt back, and he's going to win the belt back. And it's not just for him, but it's for the people. You know what I'm saying? It's really for the people. It's along the same lines of like what's happening in this country as regards to change and how people want to be treated. You know, we're not going for it no more. We're not going for the disrespect and the foolishness. And me, for one, I'm taking all bets. I've already got like 3 down, and I'm gonna need my money. You know what I'm saying? But Fury's in trouble, man. He's toast. I mean, think about it. In the first fight, he played off the back foot and ran, and he did it with an extra 4 inches of reach with the floppy glove. Then he comes into the second fight jacked up on test and growth hormones and with a glove that, you know, wasn't a glove that he should have been wearing. He shouldn't have been allowed to wear the glove. So what's he going to do in this third fight when he can't cheat? Everyone's onto this game. And I mean, I know we can sit there and say, oh, he said he's Houdini, he can sneak whatever. Now you can't sneak into whatever, bro. Like, if we got to make you glove up in the ring, you'll glove up in the ring, champ. You know what I mean? If we got to frisk you in the back, we'll frisk you in the back. If you can't wear a robe, you can't wear a robe. You know what I mean? If somebody from Wilder's camp's got to go and sit next to you in the toilet when you go take a shit, then that's what's going to happen, bro. But we're talking about some scummy people. They don't cover anything when it comes to this guy. It's like all a lie. Like his father is talking about how he wants him to come home. Well, why don't they ever talk about why Fury's father can't come to America? They never mention that, right? They never mention the fact that his whole family's like felons, and his whole family, you know what I mean, got charges and assaults and dope and coke and heroin and guns. And it's just like, they just leave all that out of it and talk about mental health, which he's lying. And they forget about the steroids, which he's failed tests before. So if I was Wilder, I would do the same thing, man. I would just keep it quiet, show up to the fight. I think he's going to absolutely eviscerate this guy, and it's going to be great. I cannot wait for it. What's this guy, Mr. Jones, here saying, Ingram? I said he said, don't ban the comment. Tell Coach Chris that. What's he saying? Wilder was talking about the devil in the Daily Mirror article last week. Oh, is he talking about your mom or something? Like, I don't like, what are you talking about? Wilder's back looks different. He looks like he's been lifting some weights, Watcher. It looks like he's been hitting the weights, which is something he definitely needs to do. Everybody needs to train with weights or some sort of resistance.
Let's see his comment is.
Yeah, he said something about Wilder was talking about the devil in the Daily Mirror.
Well, he's not the only one that talks about the devil. Audrey Harrison talks about the devil as well. So
there's somebody.
I don't know what the article was about, but I mean, look, anything that Wilder says and it's recorded. Go on.
Yeah, I didn't. Let's see.
You're gonna say something?
Oh, no problem, Leaf. No problem. No problem to respond to you.
Wilder's back looks different. What do you mean by that?
He's been training, man. He's been hitting the weights. He's been hitting the chin ups.
Oh yeah.
The rows. Yeah. Looks like he looks like he's put on a solid 5-6 pounds of muscle. He needs to add to his walking around. His walking around needs to be a little bigger. So, because when you train like he does for fights, you're going to lose weight. But he needs to come into that ring about 225, 222. We'll shed greater light on things, just be slicker. Well, I mean, Slug, man, you know what I'm saying? The PED users are going to always use PEDs, bro. Like, the powers that be do not want to get rid of PEDs, because if they did, they would just make the punishments way stiffer. Or, I don't know, boxing's weird.
A metal detector. That's true, though.
Metal detector, frisk him, everything, because he's crazy. Let's see here. And PED users are always going to use PEDs. LOL, Coach Chris always crying. You wouldn't say that if you were. You wouldn't say that to my face.
I want to hold this a second. This is one of the dudes. It says Mr. Jones. This dude here is one of the guys that probably sat in the room and for you when you said that Wilder and Fury were going to fight in December, said they would fight in the summer of 2021. This is one of the dudes right here that was sitting down, listening to that conversation. People like this, I have very little time for. In fact, I just want to block them because they're so disrespectful. They come on the channel, they make the disrespectful comments, they don't give us credit for what we do, and we're sick and tired of them. And it's like, you get sick and tired of it.
You know, you block him, and then he'll just get his other troll account, and then he'll get another view for it. So that's cool.
That might be an idea, actually, because I just got zero tolerance for it anymore.
I just love people that talk all that would be crying stuff. I promise you, champ. You would not. If you were in the room with me, bro, you would have your manners. You would have your foghorn, leghorn manners, brother. You would not. Trust me, bro. This picture avatar, I'm not far from that, bro. I'm not far from that.
He's telling the truth as well. He's telling the truth as well.
Bro, don't
I want Wilder to win, but I'm not confident like the last time. No, I'm confident.
I'm more confident than ever. I'm convinced that Fury is a freaking fraud. I am so convinced. I'm convinced that his whole boxing career.
Well, I asked boxing fans this one question: when, apart from the Wilder fight, when else has Fury put dents in a fighter's head?
Never ever, bro. He can't.
When has George Foreman put a dent in a fighter's head? When has Mike Tyson put a dent in a person's head? When has Ernie Shavers put a dent in a person's head? When did Tyler Klitschko?
When I
Put
mean,
a
we
dent
did
into his
it
head.
in MMA. When did Junior Dos Santos punch a hole in someone's head, or Francis Ngannou punch a dent in someone's head? And those guys are wearing basically
Or
work
Julie,
gloves.
or Julie Jackson.
Yeah, right.
Or Julian Jackson.
Yeah, now my guy down here, I can't even love and Don Gaither needs to watch everything, mainly his Food and Water. They may try to plant something. For me, his whole I think Wilder got alerted. This whole thing has probably changed him in a way that we'll never really know. But just kind of waking you up to how loose he actually was probably carrying it. You know what I'm saying? He had no business staying on the strip. He had no business staying in that hotel. He needs to rent a house. I mean, this is what I would do, right? You know?
Watch this. What you've got to remember, which is key here. Wilder has built his own gym.
Yeah, and
That tells you he's built his own gym just for Fury.
And my thing is, he already had a gym down the street, but he wanted a gym in the backyard. You know what I'm saying?
So there's nobody spying on
Right.
him.
Right. He's with this Fury guy.
Too loose. Way too loose. When you invest your money to build a gym to fight someone, and people think this fight was just yesterday. This one was 2 years ago. People think they're going to see exactly the same fight again after 2 years. Not going to happen.
I mean, the first fight and the second fight were very different. I mean, the third fight's definitely going to be the same thing. But to finish my comment on what Lovedana Gaither was talking about, if I was his strength coach, and I don't know how their team works or anything like that, but generally speaking, like when you're talking about strength coach, like food and stuff like that kind of comes into play. So you got to kind of coordinate that whole thing as a part of like, okay, what's our plan for fight week? Like somebody needs to go out there early, rent the house, make sure the house is good. You know what I'm saying? And you're in Vegas, so there's tons of mansions and Airbnbs and homes you can rent. That's not a problem. Off the strip, like that's very, very, they're out there. There's tons of them to do. Then you need somebody to go out there, hit BJ's warehouse, get all the water, get all the snacks, get food, go to the grocery store, come out there, maybe bring your cook out there with you. Separate, have Wilder have his own fridge. Everyone else has a fridge. Everything you need, you can rent. And I mean, you're talking about for about a week. So it's not going to cost you too much. And it actually be less expensive than if you were going to stay in the strip and like eat in a hotel. But you don't want to trust those people or eat any of their food. You want to prepare all your own food. I mean, and you can have it down to where you actually have the menu planned out every day. It's like, all right, champ, here's what you eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the night before the fight, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Here's when you're having your hydration. We got the Gatorade you like. We got your Normatec boots. Maybe they got your hyperbaric chamber out there. Have a massage art. Like fly everybody out, like the whole team out. And the whole team is your strength, your nutritionist, your chef, your massage person, your recovery person. This is the cost of playing ball to be a big time athlete. You know what I'm saying? And keep yourself very insulated and go out there and do business, man. And you're just gonna have to do it like that, man, because apparently Vegas, I'm surprised they want to have I would not trust Vegas again, but I don't know if he had a choice in that matter. I don't think he'll ever fight in Vegas again after this.
The question is this: who are the Vegas people going to support? Are they going to support? Will they allow? If Fury has done what he's done, will they allow him to get away with it again? And if they're saying that they're going to make sure that Fury can't pull the same tricks again, what's going to be different? Oh, and Larry Hazard is in. Where is Larry? Is he Vegas or is he New York? Larry Hazard. No, he's in New Jersey.
The referee?
No, Larry Hazard is like a commissioner.
He's not in Vegas. I think he might.
Larry Hazard would not allow that shit to fly.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Top rank. All the cheating I've ever seen in boxing in the United States has always happened on the top rank card. All the glove manipulation, everything, Margarito, Margarito and Cotto, Billy Collins and Resto. Um, all of that, all of these are always top ranked cards, and there's a reason for that. It's not just. I don't think it's a coincidence. You know what I mean? I think it's for real, for real, for real. They're cheaters, man. Like, win at all costs. I mean, I just want to know, and this is just kind of the question I would ask Fury. You know, it's like, all right, so you cheated. Like, I've played against cheaters, right? Like, I played football against guys that use steroids and played with guys that use steroids, and guys manipulate balls and things like that. But you're talking about manipulating your gloves to box. I mean, dude, where were you at in your head and in your career to think that you had to do that? Like, you had to win this fight, like you had to win, and like you were willing to kill this guy in the ring, because that's what could have happened. You could have hit him in the side of the temple, like that bone that got cracked on the side of his face. You could have hit him in the temple and killed him. So and then he would have died in the ring, and then he would have got and then like what? You would have eventually found out you cheated, and you get locked up. Like, was it worth it? Like, where do you like, who'd you owe money to, or why would you do that? Like, or are you that corrupt in your mind? And like, it's just absolutely amazing. Like Vander Singh, do I think Breland had anything to do with this? I do, because one of the Durrell brothers admitted that he was the one that told Breland to throw in the towel from the stands. So I guess Mark Breland really works for one of the Durrell brothers, because I don't care. I just, like, if the man's telling you not to throw in the towel, don't throw in the towel. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you got people in the crowd telling you to throw the towel. Like, nah, bro. That makes me think somebody was guilty. Only a guilty person would do something like that. Tyson claims to be a man of God as well. He's a liar, man. He's such a liar and a drug cheat and a coke fiend, and he's admitted that he buys prostitutes, and it's just he's a scumbag. He just talks really good. He has a good tongue. He has a slick tongue, just like a good con artist will.
While the wind, I'm doing a cheering celebration down back of my street.
I'm telling you right now, like, Wilder's doing this. Like, I think what this fight on the 24th is bigger than boxing. More so, like, I think we might be thinking this might be the biggest cultural fight in boxing since Ali Frazier won.
No, since Holmes Cooney.
Since Holmes Cooney? Yeah, well, that was just. I mean, I think that the difference between Holmes Cooney and Ali Frazier one was, Frazier was the establishment's guy. He was, oh, look at him, he's a good dude, and Ali was just coming off of his hiatus from not wanting to fight in the Vietnam War, and it's not like he'd have been fighting in the Vietnam War. They just wanted to, do like they did with Joe Louis and have pictures of him running around and use him as a marketing tool, which he refused to do. And they use that to be, and I think this is a culture war. You know what I mean? Like, in America, and Glonza, you definitely got it right. This is bigger than boxing, man. Like, I got people, like, I share this on my personal Facebook page, and I got ladies. I mean, we're talking.
Wait, you have a personal Facebook page?
Yeah, my Facebook page. I have my Coach Chris Aqueme Facebook page, and then I have, like, my personal, like, with my friends and pictures of me eating dinner and stuff like that. But whatever,
bro. I'm not even on that page.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. We gotta chop it up. But yeah, man. People are just like, man, when is that fight happening? Like, nah, something was definitely wrong. You've got to understand that the majority of boxing fans in this country think that Fury cheated. Anyone that's seen Wilder fight knows that something was wrong with him in that fight. And this is ultimately, like, it's almost like Star Wars. It's like Fury and Top Rank, and they're like the dark side of the Force. And we're looking to see justice preserved, man. And I cannot wait for that to happen. Like, Fury has to take a fall. He has to take a fault. Like, if all's right in the world and there is a God, Fury's going to take a fault. Like, he's a complete scumbag. He does not deserve. Like, and the thing that's crazy is the media doesn't want to admit that Fury cheated, but then they don't want to give Fury a lot of credit. And I say that because Fury fights in America, right? He doesn't have a commercial. He doesn't have an endorsement deal. We're talking about a Caucasian heavyweight champ of the world here. We haven't had an English speaking Caucasian heavyweight champ since who? Rocky Marciano? Tommy Morrison never won a belt, right? Did Tommy Morrison win a belt?
He won the belt. He won the WBO. He's WBO heavyweight champion of the world.
But I think he was WBO champion for the WBO was
and he fought Foreman as well.
I think the WBO wasn't one of the ones. It was still the three. It was still the three then.
Okay.
The other three didn't, because it doesn't. The WBO didn't come until the other ones recognized it. What did Glaza say? They're loaded with cash. They don't need endorsements. Glanza, I don't know where in the world you are and where you live, but I can always use more money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Nike wants, Under Armour, they can come and pay me right now to do, to make a shoe. So, I mean, hell, man, Triple G had endorsements. Pacquiao had endorsements. Mayweather had endorsements. They can't really talk about it. I mean, that fight didn't exactly. I mean, the damn knockdown was a rabbit punch. You can't even show that highlight on TV. It was a foul. So, I think they know what this is, and I think they know what's going to happen. I think they know, because that's why the entire world, the entire boxing establishment and the media wanted to get Fury AJ off, because they knew that if Wilder and Fury 3 happened, it would happen in the second fight, would not happen in the third fight. And I think everybody already kind of knows. And I mean, if you look at the odds now, Wilder's plus 250. So, they're looking to clean up, man. This is the biggest fight of the year, man. Yeah, Watcher, you just said it. Biggest fight of the year. This is going to be crazy. Do you see the ticket?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think these people who say, this fight, nobody wants to see this fight?
I mean, it's just the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard in my life, Ingram. Like, first of all, who the hell wants to see AJ and Fury, right? That's first of all, you're going to take that fight to Saudi Arabia. That's just absolutely insane. Second of all, there's no history there. There's no nothing there. It's just two guys. I think that's a big money laundering hit right there, to take that out there to Saudi Arabia. And I think Top Rank and Matchroom, they're probably people that need that. So, I mean, you're asking for the boxing media. They're going to say whatever Top Rank and Matchroom tell them to say. So
that's it.
We don't know how they really feel. So
I won't even bother opening my mouth to what Vinder's just put here. I'll leave you to deal with him this time. I'm exhausted talking to people like this about this. So.
Too much of a smoke screen has been created from the second fight. What does he mean? What do you mean by a smoke screen? No one's really know the exact truth. I know the exact truth because I know that you can't put a hole in someone's face with boxing gloves on. So I know what happened. I guess Lavender's doing, I guess he's operating with Braille and he can't see because, the man has
don't even waste energy. These are the same people that you try to explain to and tell them that the fight was going to happen next year. Last year, you told them this year the fight's going to happen in the summer, and they looked at us and told us where's our sources and all the rest of that stuff. And even then, they still haven't come back and said anything about it. So I really wouldn't even bother trying to explain it to them, because yet again, they have to find out the hard way, which a lot of them have to find out. About the Joshua Fury thing, they have to find out like the old. A lot of these people's mentality are like the old school media. They believe the old school media has it right and we have it wrong, and they're just tuning to watch us get it wrong. So what's happening now is that they're tuning in and getting sick and tired of tuning in us getting it right. I'm not talking about predictions. I'm talking about things that actually happen in boxing. You know, I remember sitting down and telling people about old fighters coming back and having a boxing league. What's happening now?
Yeah, happening. It's happening. If you just look at the facts and you look at what's happening, you can read the tea leaves and see, like, you know, stupidity is very, 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 very predictable. So that is a big fight. I don't think it's going to happen.
This is what I talked about. Joshua versus Wilder, undisputed in Africa. In Africa, I said it. That's where it should. That's where it should be.
They won't do that though. You know, it's going to be some place where they can charge.
In Nigeria, and I'll tell you why. Because Wilder admitted he's Nigerian, and Joshua's Nigerian.
That it sounds good, man. But did you see them tickets they charging in for Vegas for this fight? They gonna have that fight in America, bro, where they can charge. Bro, they're getting 5,000 for nosebleed seats, bro. They're asking like 2,500 for you to be up in the corner, bro. I'm actually. It turns out I'm kind of glad that my vacation is the next day after the fight, because you know what?
Go out and celebrate afterwards.
Nah, I mean, I was gonna go to Vegas to see the fight, but I'm like, man, I can't do $5,000 for me and the wife to go sit in the nosebleeds, man, for a fight. I'd have just been out there. Hey, man, I got bread, but I don't got $10,000, man. I can't blow $10,000 on a fight weekend right now. That's not where I'm at. So I'm gonna just have my little fight party, you know. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this fight, and I mean that dent is crazy, and I just want people, to really understand that what's gonna happen, whatever happens to Fury, he completely deserves it. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like if he gets killed in there in the ring, man, like I would not care. I'm just like, you know what, whatever, dude. Like that's what, and I don't think he would either, because he obviously doesn't care about, you know, being a respectable gentleman of the sport.
I don't think he thought we'd see the third fight. That's what I think. None of them thought they were going to see the third fight.
Well, you saw what the play was, right? They had the fight. He cheated him in February, and if COVID didn't happen, they were going to have the rematch in July. He cheated him again. Nobody would have known what would have happened, because COVID wouldn't have happened, and there would have been a lot happening in the fights, and nobody would have paid attention. Remember, COVID-19 gave everybody the chance to look at the fight over and over and over again and see what happened. So, you know, are there any LDB channels going to the fight? I would be certain that there are. I would bet money that Blue Blood Sports TV will be out there. And I'll bet money that Fred from Barbershop Conversations will be out there, and Champ Side will probably be out there. And I don't think Ego is LDBC, but I'm pretty sure he'll be out there. You know, I mean, this is the biggest fight of the year.
Yeah.
$600. That's a good seat. That's not bad. I could do that.
My ticket is $600. I just want to be in the building.
That's not too bad.
Good for you, Goddess.
Vegas. That's not too bad for a fight in Vegas, to be real. He must have got on it early. I didn't even know when tickets went on sale, man. I guess because I didn't look. You know, I knew I wasn't going to be able to go.
This will be sold out for sure. It'll definitely be sold out, and proper sold out. Not Eddie Hearns. It's sold out within 10 minutes. Garbage. It'll probably be sold out.
Man, let me tell you something. Eddie Hearn is the biggest fucking hater I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen someone talk about other people's fighters the way he does. He is, I mean, I guess he's a good promoter because he's in the promotional game, but I mean, he is the worst. He promotes other people.
I'm telling you, the chickens are going to come home to roost for that guy. The chickens are going to come home to roost.
Yeah, there's a lot of chickens that come home to roost for a lot of people. And July 24th is when it's going to start, and I cannot wait. I just, you know, to now see the cheating, like when they showed that video, you can see the side of his face, man, with that hole in his face. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, we all know that Fury cheated, but when you see that picture, man, it's just like, are you freaking kidding me? You know, like what kind of sport are we watching here? Like, is this what we got? Is this what boxing is now? You know, like, is this where we're at, you know, in 2021? where one guy can come into the ring and actually try to kill his opponent for the sake of winning, and that's okay, and nobody says anything, and he doesn't get in trouble for it. It just kind of speaks to where we are as a society, man, and it's really, really sad. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know if it was reversed, Wilder would be in. There wouldn't even be a fight. Wilder would be in jail. He'd be fighting jail time right now. So it's unbelievable, man. But Ingram, man, I got to get ready to go, man. My wife is taking me out for a little Father's Day din.
Hold on. There we go.
I can't leave.
These people think they can come in my room and come in the room and abuse.
I didn't even see what he said.
So there's a different rule here now. Well, he hasn't. He got abused. I haven't got time for it anymore. I'm not of that kind anymore. So
it's grown folks conversation, man. Like it's grown folks conversation out here. Like if you're not grown, then just go ahead and about your business, homie. Just go ahead about your business. Go ahead about your business because, just go ahead about your business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, unbelievable. I just wonder about the age of some of these people and their mentality. Like they must be living with their mamas or something like that. Because it's just, why would you care so much?
Yeah, well, they don't. I know the mentality of some of these people, and I've kept them around for way too long. I've had patience with them for too long, and now I've got no patience. So I just wipe them off the channel now. Wipe them off. At least now, by doing it, I get a decent crowd of people, and that's what it's about now. You understand? So it's what it is. It's what it's about.
And the thing is, they're not even boxing fans, man. You know, that's the part, right? Like they're not.
They're not boxing fans. They're the same people that complain about fighters getting robbed, but yet they'll allow other things happen. You see, they'll allow one fighter to break the rules and break the law and break contracts, but then sit down and complain about judges and referees. You understand? Yeah. So there's no consistency with these people. No consistency. It's when people get abusive and caught abusing my guests. That is when they have to be gotten rid of. It's as simple as that. I mean, so.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be done.
I just
has to be done. I'm not tolerating it anymore. So
I just laugh at the fact that someone can actually look at that man's face and really can just come up with a conclusion that was a legal fight.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that, you know, I'll tell you, I've actually had a conversation with someone that's a boxing guy, right? Like trains boxers, works with boxers here in the area, that he knows more boxing. He's forgot more boxing than I'll ever know. And I'm hearing him tell me about when a grown man sets his feet and throws punches. I feel like a lot of people in boxing are looking to explain away what happened, because I feel like, in all honesty, the credibility of the entire sport's up for grabs right now in this very moment. You know, almost like when the NBA had the whole the Donaghy situation with the referees, the whole credibility of boxing, it just kind of makes you wonder, well, if he cheated in this fight, how many fights are we looking at where the guy cheated? You know, we're looking at people that are having careers that are just ridiculous. You know, Americans will be against Wilder disgraceful. BG London, man, America is very racist, yo. Like,
that's what it is.
There's no other. I mean, that's really what it is. Like, you got to look. You got the two most popular boxers in the past 15 years in America, Deontay Wilder, Floyd Mayweather. Both of them completely different people in every single way, with one thing in common, but both equally hated. It doesn't take a rocket science. You don't have to have a sociology degree to figure out what the thing is, man. They're black, and they.
Yeah, but look at this: Lomachenko, Golovkin, Pacquiao.
Oh, they love them, you know. Monster Inoue, love them.
Yep, there you go.
Deontay Wilder, oh, he can't box. His legs are too skinny and all that. But he knocks everybody out. I thought you liked knockouts. Oh, he can't box. Okay, then we got Floyd. He's a great boxer, master boxer. But he boxes too much. He doesn't fight, doesn't take risks. Hate him too. Like I really just wish people would just come on out with it. Just be like, I just don't like black boxers. At least then,
just say that.
Just come out and say it. Like, get that
pussy.
Fine,
we're cool. I didn't
like,
say, you know what? I just don't like them. Just be like when Abel Sanchez said, black fighters don't make money. At least he came out and said it.
I mean, and that's like the most ridiculous fucking statement of all time. Like, I mean, like Abel Sanchez, and I love that, right? Because he said that comment. He made that comment trying to protect Triple G, and what did Triple G do? Cut his silly ass. Sacked him for no reason. So, what goes around comes around, man. And what goes up must come down. And you know what I'm saying? Like you just this is gonna be a reckoning. And I cannot wait. I'm still thinking Fury's gonna try to weasel out this fight. I think, well, here's my thing, Ingram. He's got a problem. He's called the judge. The judge said if you don't fight, that's a legally binding contract. He can be sued for breach of contract. Top Rank can be sued. Anywhere he goes to fight, to host a fight, get sued. I just think Wilder's going to knock his head off, and he's going to, hit him with a civil suit, and Fury's going to end up back in. I don't know. He can't box in England, right? He doesn't have a license. If he applies for a license, UCAT will nail him for 8 years because he's a drug cheat. So he's a complete fraud, man. He's a complete fraud. I wonder about all of those guys, man. I just think I think he's a fraud. I think I'm really of the mind right now that Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz are the best heavyweights in the world right now.
Hold up, I'm gonna give you a guy, Joe Joyce.
You know what? I think Joe Joyce beats Tyson Fury, and I think Joe Joyce could beat AJ. AJ has no chin at all, and I think AJ's a lot of hype. I think Tyson Fury is just a bum. I think he is a complete facade. I'm just of the mind that if you're taking steroids all the time, you're not that good. Like, if that's you on steroids and you still look like some trash to me, you're not very good. I think he's a bum, man. Like, he's on steroids and he loaded his gloves. What a freaking joke. He must not have any confidence in himself. Do you have to?
You have to be vaccinated to enter the US from a foreign country.
I do not know the answer to that question. I have not gone or left the United States since COVID has happened, but and this is just, I don't know, just go ahead and get it. You know what I mean? I think you might have to. I think it depends where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think that's what matters. But yeah, what happens if Wilder wins with Americans backing? We got to understand, BG London, Wilder has a very large fan base in America anyway.
Well, according to Eddie Hearn, he was on the corner. I think he was asking people if they knew who Deontay Wilder was.
Well, I mean,
maybe he did that crap.
Well, I mean, he's in America, dude. Like, I mean, that's the funny. That's so crazy, right? Like, if you ask people down the street, they're only gonna know certain sports stars from certain sports. They're not gonna know everybody. I mean, they'll know Tom Brady, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Shaq. They're not going to know any of these boxers. Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao. That's about it. Everybody else, nobody will know in America.
All right, let me check this out. Let me see if I can get this up. Right. I hope this is working. If not, I'm going to cut it out again. Right, I'm going to tell you. It's going to cut out on me again in a minute. I hate StreamYard for this. I'll lose connection in a minute, and then I'll come straight back. But I'm going to tell you 2 dreams I had, and then we'll come back. I've got to tell you this dream because it was about Fury, actually. Let me see if this comes on. But keep talking because I think this connection is going to go off mine, and I'll come back in the room.
No, man, I'm just really excited about the fact that we're going to get this fight. I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it was going to take time because Fury was spending all this money trying to get away from it. But I'm just excited about it. I cannot wait to see.
Right, two dreams. Dream number one I had was Anthony Joshua coming to the ring, and as the person was getting closer and closer to me, I thought, hold on a second, that's not Anthony Joshua, that's Deontay Wilder, and actually it was Deontay Wilder, and so that happened. The next dream I had after that was Tyson Fury in the ring, and he was biting on his gum shield, and he looked out of sorts. He kept chewing his gum shield, chewing his gum shield. I just wonder in this third fight whether we're going to see something from Fury, which is a bit odd.
Man, Fury's going to come into that ring so tuned up on cocaine, so high on whatever uppers he was on in that first fight, jacked up. He's going to be juiced to the gills. He's going to go for it, try to protect himself. He knows this man is out to kill him, yo. Like that look, that face off they had. If Fury didn't know then, he knows now. That he looked so nervous in that freaking face off. Did you see his nervous energy? Hands behind his back, hands in front of him, shifting, trying to mouth words to Wilder to talk to him, and Wilder was just looking at him. He knows that Wilder's in kill mode. This ain't gonna be fun. This ain't gonna be fun.
He says he's heard it all before, but we've heard it all before with Fury as well. So
let me tell you something, man. Wilder's not gonna really be doing a whole lot of media from now on anyway, outside of YouTube. So, I mean, why? Like, everyone's shown their ass. Everybody showed themselves with this fight. It seemed like everybody, and that's kind of how it is for black guys. A lot of times, I know I've had this happen to me, where if something doesn't go your way, or if you lose a game, or you don't play well in a game, it just kind of seems like certain people are just right there to just try to rub it in all the time. And it's always the same type of people every single time that just it's like they were hoping for it to happen just for them to be able to say some shit. It's like, we was waiting for this to happen, so now we can. It's like, wow. And like all those people that your Michael Bispings, your Brandon Schaubs, your Michelle Joy Phelps's, your Kevin Ioli's, your Michael Coppingers, all the people that he was doing interviews with for years before this fight, people that he knew for years before this fight, all of a sudden he loses to Fury and gets cheated, and now they just turn their back on him. But then they're mad at him for not wanting to speak to them during the press conference. I just find that very, very hypocritical, and it's probably a good thing I'm not going to be out in Vegas, because I could see myself punching Mike Coppinger in the mouth. Like, I'd probably bump into him like at a buffet or something, and I would punch him. I would completely pour wine on his shirt or something, just try to pick. And of course, he'll not fight me because I'm enormous, and I look like I could probably choke him to death, choke him out with my bare hands, which I could. But I'm telling you right now, he's the kind of guy, like, you walk into him and you put the cold shoulder in the middle of his chest, and when they look at you like, wow, you just bumped into me, you look at them like, what, you got a problem? And then they just run off with it like, nah, I ain't got no problem. Like, he's going to find it a very cold reception out there in Vegas. Mike Coppinger might want to consider, hey, I'm not out there, I'm not going, so it wouldn't be me, and I'm not telling anybody to do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you got a lot of people that are not feeling him and Ioli, and I hope they watch themselves out there and are mindful of their surroundings, because somebody's gonna put hands on him out there. Somebody might put hands on him.
Very quickly before we go, you had a scathing thought about one of my favorite fighters, Jamal Charlo. Go ahead.
Jamal Charlo. I don't think he looked very good last night. Both the Charlo brothers are kind of off my list. I don't really rock with either one of them right now. But I'll tell you what, and this is for real, Charlo better get it together. Now I know he needs to fight Boo Boo Andrade or Daniel Jacobs. He needs a real fight, because he couldn't stop that guy. That did not look good to me. And Jamel Charlo, fuck Jamel Charlo. He's a weirdo. He's a psychopath. And he's another one who I don't need to see in the street. You know what I mean? And like, you know what? He can think he's tough and bad, but dude, you're like 165 pounds, bro. I eat burritos bigger than you, champ. Like, bro, like, you know, these little dudes out here that are jealous of big guys, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of hate this man Wilder gets out here in these streets. And you know what? I can empathize. I get a lot of hate too. So we're just waiting to see it, man. But like, fuck them Charlo brothers, man. I'm telling you, the 3 fighters I support: Wilder, Errol Spence Jr., David Benavidez. Those are my 3 guys right there. The 3 musketeers for me. Everybody else, you know, Gary Russell Jr. is in there too. He might be fighting Devin Haney, which would be a good fight.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling Devin Haney at all. Sorry, I'm not feeling him.
I don't know if he can hurt Gary Russell, man. We'll see if Gary Russell ain't fought in like 2 years, so we'll see. I think Jermell Charlo threatened Wilder's life, talking about he got shooters for him, and like, get out of here. You're not a thug. You're a boxer. You box. All right, like you know, and that's the thing about it, Ingram, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a tough guy, right? You know, I'm not a tough guy. You know, I am a tough guy in regards that I'll fight you if I have to, and I'm dangerous. But I mean, I'm from Baltimore, man. Like, I know brothers that kill, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I know cats that used to kidnap, throw cats in the back of the trunk. You know what I mean? Like, those are the street cops.
Connection's gonna go again.
You know what I mean? Man, Scott, man, look, Tyson Fury knows he's in a lot of trouble, man. And when Wilder acts like a champ, Fury acts like he don't even know what he's doing out here. First of all, he got the same suit he had on last year. Like, where's your bag at? Where's your money at? You got the same raggedy ass funky suit you had on last year. You're coming out here with no shirt on, looking like a whole Pop-Tart out there, looking like a fat bastard. Know what I'm saying? Wilder comes out there, swagged up, shades, took the shades off, looked him in his eyes. I ain't never seen his face off that long. It was great, man.
Yeah, but I think Fury's doing it just to remind Wilder psychologically, well, we're here again. And remember the last time what happened when I wore this suit? That sort of thing he's doing.
I think Fury's thinking all wrong. Fury probably needs to be as nice as possible and as respectful as possible. I don't think it's going to help very much, but don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
What did you make of Fury's brother making those comments?
What did Fury's brother say? I didn't even.
He called him a dosser, I think.
He called
and I called Fury.
Are you talking about that cast of characters that was wearing T-shirts? My man, that looked like SpongeBob SquarePants with the sideshow Bob hair. Man, nobody care what them chumps think, man. Nobody care what them chumps think. But Ingram, I got to go ahead and go, man. My wife's getting ready to take me out for some Mexican.
Sounds good. Enjoy Father's Day.
Seafood chimichanga. Thank you, sir. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there in the chat, by the way. Happy Father's Day, gentlemen. Hope y'all enjoy y'all day. And we'll definitely chop it up this week, Ingram, man. I got a lot jumping off this week. You know, I'll be super busy, man. But you know, you just hit me, man. We'll make time, brother.
Sounds good. Let's do it. All right.
All right. Hey,
have
chat.
A good night, my man.
Thanks for politicking with us, man. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you all as always. Watching BWTN Sports. We're out. Thanks for watching.
Take it easy, y'all.